What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for watching the Lean Guy Show. This is our first episode of season 2, and our today's guest is Raghu Markus. As you guys already know, that I'm a huge devotee of Neem Karoli Baba, and Raghu Markus happened to live in Kanchi Ashram along with Neem Karoli Baba, along with other Westerners like Ramdas and Krishnadas during Maharaj-ji's time. And he is also one of those people who's responsible to spread and take the teachings of Neem Karoli Baba from India to the West, and he's also responsible to spread the learnings of Ramdas to the world. He has been a great source of inspiration, and he has been one of those people who is solely taking the legacy of Ramdas and Neem Karoli Baba still. And he's also an executive director of Love Serve Remember Foundation. He's also an author and a podcaster, and he's one of those people still alive, who had been with Neem Karoli Baba back in the day. So it is nothing but an honor to have him on a podcast. This is Raghu Markus. Go ahead and watch it, and thank you so much for watching. I know, like, how's life been? Like, it's been many years. And
Are we recording?
Yeah, it's on.
Are you recording?
Yeah, it's on.
It's all on.
Yeah, it's all on.
You'll have to. How is life?
Yes,
life, is well, I was in India. That's where we met up physically, and coming back, it's very difficult coming back in any normal time, transiting from India, which is so, for me, like home, it's weird. And then coming back and you're faced with this really fast pace, the life here is very much that. So, so just a little bit of a transition, but all okay.
Oh, wow. How was it Diwali? I mean, you were here even after Diwali, right? Like you kind of recently left Delhi, like India?
I was there for Diwali for sure. And also, what was that other holiday? Kartak? I actually was in Brindavan, and it was full of spiritual tourists, etc. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, and you visited Kanchi. Every time you come to Delhi, to India, you visit Kanchi?
I do. I have not every time. Sometimes I'm going elsewhere, and I don't go up to, maybe because I'm in the middle of the winter or something like that. So, yeah. But most times, yeah. One of my friend actually called Shaurya, he introduced me to a song called Radhe Radhe Govinda of Krishnadas. He was like, hey, yeah, this is a song. Why didn't you hear this? It was just randomly, he kind of gave that. So I listened to that song, and I started listening to that all night long. And I was like, wow, this is so amazing. So I started reading about Krishnadas. Like, who is this Krishnadas? And I read about Krishnadas. I saw his documentary, One Track Love. One Track Heart.
One Track Heart. And I was like, wow, this is so amazing. And then I got to know about Neem Karoli Baba. And the major change happened in 23 when I was such a bad person, man. I was like, I was smoking, cigarettes, alcohol. I was in a very bad shape, very, very bad shape. I was like, I was just going downhill. September 18th, 2023, I went to Kanchi, came back to Delhi. That's it. I don't know how it happened. I mean, my smoking's gone, alcohol is gone. I'm like totally devoted. I know. I mean, it was not possible by me. At least I could have done that. I don't know how did this happen. I'm just still amazed. So I mean, that's how.
That's the way it happened for everybody. So, and everybody thinks like you. Oh God, I was so bad. I was drinking, smoking, whatever. Everybody goes through this. Everybody says that. And the way in which they inflict this judgment on themselves is, it's the way we are as humans. But somehow grace came to you, and it all became not interesting, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. And, since then, I think my practice, there is no practice, just bhajan is what I do. I just want to know, how did this happen for Raghu? Before Neem Karoli Baba, obviously, Ramdas kind of introduced you to Neem Karoli Baba, but was there any skepticism back then? You being in US, in a different culture altogether, and then getting to know about a Baba or a Guru. So, no, what was it back then?
When I first heard Ram Dass, okay, I totally trusted him immediately that what he was saying was true. And he was so self-deprecating about his own troubles and, all of his karmas. And so I thought, wow, if somebody can be honest like that, so I can be honest. I can say, okay, I am screwed up, and here I am, and and not be so self-judgmental, which is, a real issue for people, for all of us. So that trust led me to India. Period. As far as skepticism, I guess that trust was so great that never even entered into the conversation. And then when I saw Maharaj-ji for the first second, then I knew him, and there was nothing new, and I was home and all of that, and basically thought, oh, that's what Ram Dass was all about. That's the thought that went through my head at the time.
Yeah.
So. Of course, everybody has some part of them that has doubt. Maharaj-ji, who supposedly never spoke English, or didn't understand English, rather, of course, he corrected translators all the time, So, but he would do things like a person be sitting in front of them and he'd go, doubt in English, and Westerner. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. So skepticism is always there because it's part of human nature. But it was not overriding anything in terms of that moment when I first met Ram Dass.
Yeah.
And the rest was history, so to speak, except for dealing with the mind. Maharaj-ji said to us one day, I've done everything for you. Now I leave you the mind. And we all groaned, oh no, God. So we've been, so skepticism is part of dealing with the mind. Skepticism isn't the right word, more like doubt, did this really, especially now people meet Maharaj-ji and have these experiences and then they go, did that really happen? Or did I, your mind plays tricks, that kind of thing. Skepticism never entered, the pure meaning of that word, rather, never entered.
Oh, and like when you were there, I think, you would have been like 19 or 20 back then when you were with Maharaj-ji?
No, 20. Arrived in India, I was 24.
But I mean, if I if I think myself or as well, nowadays the generation, like at 20, I mean, although the Gen Zs are going really fast, but at least millennials, I mean, we were like not having any understanding of spirituality at 20. I mean, we're just trying to, kind of.
Okay, we one advantage, I guess, then, in speaking to it the way that you are. Well, music was, two things happened to me personally. Music was one of them that really led me out of rational mind kind of stuff. In other words, so I was engaged with something that wasn't, took you beyond duality. Music, when you get lost, is that, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing was psychedelics. That was a big deal. That opened up that world big time. The interconnectivity of all things, right? The unconditionality of all things, all of that. So, as Ram Dass used to say, he believed that his experience with psychedelics helped inform him in a way when he, had first darshan of Neem Karoli Baba, that he had some measure of connectivity to understanding what that thing is.
Yeah.
What is that thing? That thing was like a computer. Yeah. Back then, of course, we wouldn't have said that. But then when you look back, you go, it just did what was necessary for everyone to become free. Period. So, anyhow, yeah.
And
skepticism.
Psychedelics, I mean, seems like, a common I think even Maharaj-ji was aware of it, that, probably Ram Das did it with Bhagwan Das.
Aware of it. He was given acid twice, huge doses. Once when Ram Dass was first there and he asked for the yogi medicine.
Yeah.
And when Ram Dass came back, because he thought maybe he was fooling him and he didn't really take it, that he tossed it and he wasn't looking, some crazy, mind skepticism. There he had a little bit of skepticism. There you go. Good example. So you know what Maharaj-ji did? He said, "You got any more of this?" And Ram Dass said yes. And for people who are not watching this, he put his hand out and said, "Put it all here." And Ram Dass did, and he just carefully, one by one, he put it on his tongue. Okay. So there was no way on earth Ram Dass could think anything, it was a simplistic thing, really. And of course, again, nothing happened. He played with Ram Dass, I think, but basically he said, this is good for beginners. It allows one to have darshan of Christ for 2 hours. This is the supposed Hindu guru, right? Yeah. All he talked to us about was Christ and Hanuman. But then you got to come down. You got to leave the room. Better to feed people, love everyone. That's more direct path. But he did say it was good, for beginners. So that's what happened to all of us. I mean, we all not 100%, but really most of us, because it was part of the culture back then. Well, it is now too. It's a huge revolution around psychedelics in the West.
Wow.
In this country. Huge. Yeah.
It's still it's the same way as it was in 1970s as well?
As big or bigger, because there's more people. But it's about therapy. So people are trying to get legalized some of these entheogens, psychedelics, for purposes of curing addiction, PTSD, especially great. It really helps soldiers. MDMA is the substance. And and death and dying, all of it. Yeah. So there's a lot of that going on, and they are still trying to get it approved by the FDA here. And besides that, there's a huge population, especially in certain parts of this country, that are devoted to this exploration.
Wow. And but do you think the recent generations, although I think I can see a huge wave of people moving towards the Eastern spirituality, but in the West, has there been a change of psychedelics, as in sense just taking any other drug, or people are slightly moving towards from psychedelics to the spirituality kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, we are working on that actually very directly. Yes, it does happen. Ooh. It does happen the same way it happened with us. Okay. And we are working on being able to present seminars and workshops and so on, retreats, around the efficacy of psychedelic insight meeting spirituality and science, and how that all comes together, and how you integrate these experiences into your daily lives through practices, from breath work to yoga to karma yoga, meditation, obviously, mindfulness. There's so many different ways now that we can follow to really integrate any kind of experience, really, but certainly the psychedelic one, which is a very powerful experience for people.
But I mean, while he was 20, so that's an age probably, I think, globally as well. It's very hard to kind of, leave anything that you get into, getting addicted to some kind of drugs. It's pretty easy. I'm just assuming, how did you got out of it? Maharaj-ji entirely helped you, or it was
out of what?
Out of the psychedelics and drugs, psychedelics that you were doing.
No, there's nothing. There's no addiction or anything in that whatsoever. Okay. I don't even call them drugs. They're they're medicine. They really are medicine, you know. And, I don't call pot a drug. Drugs are cocaine, heroin,
Yeah.
alcohol. Those are drugs.
Okay. Okay. So this does not
And
kind of,
it's
creates a addiction kind of stuff.
absolutely, I mean, there are people who want to continue to have the experience, just like people want to continue to have the experience of eating meat
Mm.
or the experience, it's that kind of addiction, which is not a bodily addiction.
Okay.
Okay. In your mind, you want to repeat. And many people do. There's a compound called ayahuasca
Yeah.
that you've heard of. And people, they get together and it's in a ceremony and there's a bunch of people in a circle and so on and so forth. And ayahuasca can reveal things that are important to a person to understand where they're stuck or whatever. But you can get caught in wanting to repeat that over and over under the assumption, okay, I'll learn more about myself, that kind of thing. So that definitely happens. And, in the presentations that we want to make through these seminars and retreats and so on, includes that. Ram Dass was very clear about, how people get stuck. You can get stuck as a meditator,
Oh, yeah.
But this is obviously because it's so powerful an experience within a short time frame, hours, or it's a little more difficult to get yourself free of that. But yeah, no, Maharaj-ji said what he said. People did ask him, hey, can I go do, I want to do some psychedelics up in the mountains. And he would say, if it's cold, you're alone. And, there was very restrictions that not many could follow. In the forest, alone, cold, all of these yogis could follow. But, yeah.
Was that his way of saying no?
No, he never said no, yes, no.
Okay.
This was Maharaj-ji. There was nothing rational going on. He did say things like, a pure woman is higher than 100 yogis, that
Yeah.
kind of aphoristic
Yeah.
statement. But we all did this particular meditation called Vipassana. Have you heard of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, insight meditation. And we all did it. We were doing it with a great teacher, Goenka, in Bodh Gaya at that time. I think he died about 10, 12 years ago. Maharaj-ji would never say, okay, go to the course. He'd say, because we made a plan to go to the course. For instance, I did with a few people one time. He said, you're going to the course? Yeah, we're going to the course. We'll come back and see you here. We'll come back. It was in Allahabad. We were going to Bodh Gaya.
Yeah.
So we came back, and there were several of us. It was a kind of a group that went. And he was sitting outside on the porch of Dada Mukherjee's house in Allahabad, and with some Indian people.
Yeah.
And he said, so you know how to meditate now? And we all went, yeah, Baba, we know. He said, well, show me. So we all got into, lotus posture, back up straight, right? And, like yogis. I swear, within 10 seconds, all we heard was this high-pitched, pealing laughter. Maharaj-ji had a high-pitched voice.
Yeah.
Look, and he's pointing to us and saying to the people around, look, they know how to meditate. That's what we're talking about, okay?
Yeah.
Beyond any kind of didactic anything, Maharaj-ji had nothing going on like that.
But from a general angle, if you see, having inclined towards spirituality, so early on in the life, at the age, that itself is I would say, probably, and maybe you were destined to get into
Yeah,
the
no, karmas. Come on, you know all about it.
yeah,
Good karmas, that's all. Our
yeah,
samskars led us to want more than what society was giving us at the time. And we all found it through different ways that led to. Now, not everyone met Ram Dass and went to India as a result of that. There were people who went, discovered it another way, discovered Maharaj-ji another way. But a great proportion, it was that. And we all came from different backgrounds,
yeah,
and God knows how he got this ragamuffin group to come over and give us this legacy, and now all these years later, it seems to be proliferating.
yeah.
That word, huh? Proliferating all over and back to India. I mean, Krishnadas is. Did you go to his concert
I did, I
in
did,
Delhi?
I did.
Yeah. So what? There's 5,000 people or something crazy.
It was madness. I was like, people over there were saying, the street never got traffic jam. But this time, I mean, they were confused. They're like, what happened? Who is this? And then traffic people were like, who has come? I'm like, there's a rock star there.
Yeah,
So who's that rock
that's
star?
so
I'm like,
great.
Krishna Das.
Yeah, no. So pretty amazing. And then, everything that we do at Love Sir, between the podcasts and the films and, all this stuff, people in India are really appreciating it. And it's, for me to be in India and have that happen was kind of amazing, actually.
Yeah, I also went to this Japna Tulsi's movie
Yeah.
screening. I went over there as well. Wow, I mean, I know, I like somehow like you guys. I think this is what Maharaj-ji's Leela is like. You guys are just like constantly our kind of magnet. Like you're just I mean just pulling. You're just kind of pulling in spite of me working everywhere or whatever. Like even to the people that I'm talking to. Somehow I'm seeing that, people are just getting pulled towards you, through you to Maharaj-ji or through Krishnadas to Maharaj-ji. Something is happening that, you guys are
Yeah.
becoming the pathways for everything. So I'm uh, truly, I'm still not able to kind of understand, like, how is it happening? But this is what probably Maharaj-ji's Leela is. So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're doing the same thing. How's this happening? You know, going back to India, like the way that it is. And, I can't tell you how many people I met at Krishnadas's concerts in Rishikesh
wow.
that knew me. I'm like, how do you, so they were obviously podcast followers or movie or
Yeah.
social media, whatever. But yeah, no, we do the same thing. How in the world is this happening? It's crazy. But
Wow.
it does. The reality is something else. The world is becoming one village because
Yeah.
of digital media and all that, and it's not in great shape
Yeah.
everywhere. And so the fact that we can create union and interconnectivity that's so obvious between who we are here and who you are in India,
Yeah.
where everything goes away, and we are this one force of unconditional love, which is what Maharaj-ji is.
Yeah. Just I like it's been I think what 50, yeah, around 55 years since Maharaj-ji left his body. I mean, has there been anything like kind of an experiences or anything that you felt probably after that, like wow, this is just surreal. I can kind of feel him right now. I mean, something because you guys had been there with him, while in presence. But Bharati Marcus once, I think, one of the podcasts, she said that, she felt him like, even after Maharaj-ji left his body.
Oh, I think no question, all of us certainly have had that happen right after he left, right? When he died in 73, September 11th. We were, some of us, not all of us, angry. How could you do that to us? Leave us like we just met you 3 years ago. you know. So we had to work through a lot of that kind of stuff. I mean, personally, I can attest to it for sure, you know, and saying bullshit to ourselves too.
Yeah.
Well, no body, he's able to connect way beyond because now he doesn't have a body, and you can meet him up, and
Yeah.
this is just BS. It really was. It was absolute BS. It was just a way of pushing pain away. The reality, of course, as that all got put through, as Ram Dass calls it, that was all grist for the mill that allowed us to transform enough, shall we say,
Yeah.
enough so that we are, you know, there's not an explanation I could give you with what that is to me in terms of that presence,
Yeah.
but that presence is there, and I know it's there for all the people from back then that I meet up with all the time.
Isn't it like kind of, I just recently celebrated my Diwali in Kanchi. Probably it has been a chaos in Kanchi. I think it's very,
It's insane, is what it is. I mean, it's very difficult for us to go back into that maelstrom, you know, with the way it is, with the cattle guards and all that. You know, and when I went there, when I met you up in the bridge, I was coming from the back of the ashram,
Yeah.
where I was meeting with an old dear friend who has been the manager of Kenchi forever. Binod Joshi is his name.
Oh yeah, I remember him. I met him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you met him, he was in a wheelchair. He's still in a
Yes.
wheelchair, I think
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So he's dealing with various issues, body issues. Anyhow, but we spent all this wonderful time in the back. There were no people. There was no nothing. You know. So I got a little bit of how it used to be for us. We used to live in the back there.
Yeah.
We'd go to Kenchi and we'd live in the back, Krishnas, me and others, Ramesh, and live with Ma, Siddhi Ma.
Yeah.
Those days, you know, I'll never forget. And that they happened seems like some kind of dream, actually. I mean, they were so beautiful. And there was really the kind of over-the-top people, you know, being around. That was not there then. But that changed like everything does.
Oh, after Maharaj-ji's passing, did you often were you coming to Kanchi?
Every year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I came there were periods when I didn't come as often, you know, like that I remember because work stuff in the 90s particularly. I was only there a couple of times. But every year up till then, and then after COVID, around 21, yeah, no, I was, you know, going every year. And Siddhi Ma died in 2017, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were going every year in those days.
And I think you met Siddhi Ma, probably that was your last meeting when you met with Dakota, you, Krishnadas, probably I think.
Yeah. Dakota was there, yeah.
Yeah, because
we were having darshan last darshan in Kenchi for us with her.
Yeah.
We saw her again at her house up in Nainital. But Dakota was sitting behind me, and I was pranaming, you know, as she was. And then he came up to me. I'm remembering this now, and he said, "Oh, when you did that, a big smile came across her face."
Wow.
So I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." Yeah, Dakota.
That was posted at Ram Dass YouTube channel, wherein I think probably his last presence.
There is a video the literally weeks before Ram Dass passed.
Yeah.
we did a retreat, and he was at it. He actually, I mean, he could barely function, I mean, literally weeks before he died.
Yeah.
But the one, it was a little earlier that year in the summer of 2019 that he absolutely insisted on traveling all the way from Maui, Hawaii, to New Mexico, where we have this wonderful temple, the only temple in America for Neem Karoli Baba. And yeah, that's what you saw. Oh my God. Actually, sorry to interrupt, but I'm remembering because I didn't go there. I didn't go with him, so I wasn't there the day he arrived, and I arrived later or whatever. So I went in, I was looking at this magnificent temple. That Hanuman is beyond anything. I mean, talk about skepticism. I mean, I never thought for a minute I'd have any, I always looked at, Ram Dass used to say the same thing. I was looking more of a Buddhist, and having all the Hindu deities, I wasn't really connecting. I did connect with a couple of them while I was in India. One was in Benares and one in Maharaj-ji's temple in Vrindavan, Hanuman.
Okay.
Yeah, the one in Benares was Sankata Devi. Anybody who goes to Benares, find that murti. It's extraordinary. So there was a little bit of that. But it was Hanuman in Taoist that really, I mean, I had no idea what this affinity was, It was really crazy. So Ram Dass came in. I was near Hanuman, and he came into the temple. He wheeled in on his wheelchair. And he got closer, and he just broke down, crying. Well, you must see it in the video. Yeah. I looked at him, and that was it for me. And the why, the why is beyond. I tell people go to India. One thing don't do, ask why. There's no why, okay? And similarly, there's no why as to this affinity with this thing.
Choosing between more technical spirituality to more devotional spirituality, I find like devotional spirituality is more love instead of breathing exercises and this.
No, all of those are good too, though. All of that's good. Breathing, mantra, japa, meditation, mindfulness. If you've seen our retreat, have you seen the retreats in Maui? That we just finished one, for instance.
Okay, that one I have not. I've seen that one video wherein you guys put both Maui as well as Tao's video, wherein you saw. I saw Ram Dass of last physical experience in Maui as well as in Tao, in both the temples. I saw that video actually.
Yeah. You should join everybody out here who's watching this or listening to this. If you go to ramdas.org, O-R-G, and Ram Dass 2 S's, and you go to what we call our Inner Academy, and you can join on different levels. You can join on a free level, and then there is a paid level that you can, for instance, catch everything that we just did in Maui with Krishna Das, with Jack Kornfield, who's a great Buddhist teacher, with a woman named Annie Lamont, who's a great humorous writer, and so on. I do a podcast there. This guy Ramdev, who was with us in India back in the day, who's an incredible teacher. It's all available there. And I just...
Wow.
Every time we do any kind of retreat, it has the devotion aspect and the Buddhist aspect, the Buddhist philosophy, more discriminating wisdom alongside of the heart is the legacy from Neem Karoli Baba.
Yeah.
And he made no bones about that. A famous story, but I went with Krishnadas had a really bad knee injury, and before he came to India, and he was in a lot of pain. He said, "Help me." And Maharaj-ji said, "Nobody come to the ashram in Vrindavan today or tomorrow. And but he said, take me because I need help, you know. And off we went, and I'm thinking, of course, this is just further about how Maharaj-ji worked. I'm thinking, oh, this is so great. I'll help him, but I get to have darshan. That was foremost in my mind. So we sit down, and you know what the first thing Maharaj-ji says? He looks at me and he goes, you're such a good friend. You helped him come here, you know. In other words, say, look, you idiot. I know what you're really thinking. You know, you're self-serving budmash. That's. And anyhow, he did get up and walked around, started limping, and Krishna said, wow, I think he's helping me, you know, and that happened, right? Wow. And then he sat down, and Krishnadas had a notebook, and in it he had just different things he would put in pictures, and he would copy prayers into it. And this one was called Mahamudra, one of the great Buddhist prayers. Okay. And Maharaj-ji asked the translator to translate it. It was one paragraph of it. And then he went, Teek, you know, right on. Wow. And then he flipped the page, and there was a picture of him. Krishnadas had put in a big picture. And he said, who's that, to us? And we both went, okay, yeah, you're just kidding. It's you. And he went, nay, Buddha. I'll never forget that, from that time to this moment, and how we have all taken Buddhist not all of us, but many, 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 many of us, you know, people like Danny Goleman, who wrote this tremendous book around emotional intelligence, and who's close to the Dalai Lama and other great lamas and so on. So this has been part of our journey, big time, to have that kind of discriminating wisdom so we don't get lost in fooling ourselves.
Yeah.
It's a really great thing. And if you get a chance, or anybody out there, you can see that in both the courses that are in the Inner Academy and in the retreats that we have. All of these retreats we did with Ram Dass and that we continue to do, you know. So that's important. The perspective, spiritual perspective that one has, yeah, right, to allow for the most transformational growth, yeah, is this the Buddhist perspective is very important, just because it is a way of being really truthful with yourself, like mindfulness. Yeah. I know you know about mindfulness. I mean, within that practice, you have to get to the point, by the way, that you're not. A lot of people do mindfulness is mostly judging. Oh, I'm a terrible person. I've done this, that. You know, yeah. Oh, I had a terrible thought. You know, yeah. Judge. But when you can get beyond that with Ram Dass's, actually his practice of I am loving awareness. Yeah. You take 3 deep breaths into the center of your chest, and I am loving awareness. I am not the thoughts and the story I'm telling myself. And once you do that, then as you witness your life through mindfulness, you witness, you know, and you see the self-absorption and self-interest that we all have all day long, right? Yeah. You see that, but you're not judging it. You know, we're human. It's this part of being human. It's okay. And then, you know, we do better somehow. Yeah. So, yeah, that combination of the open heart through kirtan. Krishnadas works with so many Buddhists all the time to get that combination. And we do it in retreats with him as well. He does his own, he does it with us, and so on. So, yeah, that's super important. If I was to give anybody any advice about the spiritual path, would be definitely to look into the most basic Buddhist thought. And one great person, here's another tip, who's a great teacher. His name is Joseph Goldstein. He was one of the people who brought Vipassana back to America from the East. He has a book called Mindfulness that is like the Bible of this, and can really help people.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I'm like right now, as you're saying, like, I'm like, my mind is moving towards it, like, saying like, hey, it seems like, I missed it. Seems like, I've heard a lot about the retreats happening in India, but then that skepticism, like, should I go, should I not go, or is it the right one, or is it not the right one? That came in. But now, as you're saying it, and whenever I used to watch the video, and like now I'm able to connect. Wow, I think I definitely missed out because I was at a place wherein I was not able to take the judgment. Oh, should I do, or should I not do?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But now, as you're
yeah,
saying it, like, wow, this is the validation probably. Like,
yeah.
this is what I'm getting, and
We're working with an organization that wants to duplicate what we've done in the West through
okay.
the Foundation Love Serve Remember, and that they want to create these environments where
Okay.
people can come together and get similar teachings. And there's lots of great teachers everywhere,
Yeah.
and we'll see. Uh, but in our, check out through the Inner Academy, and this is for you personally, and everybody who's listening or watching, definitely check it out because it gives you an idea of
Yeah.
just the depth of the Dharma transmission that includes the heart and the mind. It's the heart mind.
Yeah.
In the Tibetans call it bodhicitta, to develop that. Yeah.
So one of the roots, I think, like, man, correct me if I'm wrong, like, all of this Leela and how it is happening with each one of you guys, or even to us as well. I think one of the main roots was Ramdas. And obviously Neem Karoli Baba has been like, a kind of sun, and Ramdas being around as one of the planets around, and then you guys being one of the
Mm-hmm.
planets around.
Mm.
Um, but how was the experience, being with Ramdas? Like, you guys were like, probably one of the most dearest ones for him. So, I mean, how was it like, seeing him evolve from a Harvard scientist to
Yeah.
such a renowned Indian guru who changed, I think
Well, he
he,
would never call himself a guru. He would always deny that. I'm a teacher. I'm happy to help people, but Maharaj-ji is where
yeah,
you go with that.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's pretty amazing because we knew him. I mean, some of Rameshwar Das met him at his first talk when he came back from India in 1960, end of 67, 68,
okay,
at the university that Ramesh went to.
yeah,
And it started at 8 and it went on till 3 in the morning. Okay, he just couldn't stop. He had all this juice. He could not stop, and he couldn't do anything but share it, even though Maharaj-ji told him, don't tell him anybody about me in America, in the West. That's all he did without mentioning the name. But then, he was, let's say he was mostly 15 years older than most of us anyhow. And so he was going through his stuff and using all of it as he was so adept at transforming the stuff. And honestly, the stroke that he had in 1998, 7-8, that of course changed everything for him. And you're familiar with Siddhiman when I
yes,
mentioned,
yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So he went back in 2004 to India. He always assumed Maharaj-ji gave him this stroke, and it was called fierce grace, right? This was his assumption.
Yeah.
And Siddhima said, Ramdas, Maharaj-ji is not giving you a stroke. Nature gave you the stroke. And he was not treating himself properly. That was part of it, part of his nature.
Yeah.
What he gave you was the ability. She didn't say it in these words, but basically he got the ability to receive the grace of understanding and non-attachment.
Wow.
And he went through so much, 22 years being in this paralyzed body in a wheelchair. At some point he actually could walk around a little with help and all that, but that was brief. By the end of it, Maharaj-ji told him, Ramdas, when Ramdas got angry one day, I think we have to finish with this story, right?
Yeah.
He got angry at us, the other Westerners, because we were young, and all we cared about was how do we get near that thing that makes us feel so good, just the most simplistic term. And so he had it with us and everything. He threw a plate of food right in front of Maharaj-ji into one of the Western devotees' face. Okay? Wow. Can you imagine? You coming from the culture can go, whoa.
Wow. In front of Maharaj-ji?
Yeah. So Maharaj-ji called us up and he said, what happened there? And it was Ramesh who said, well, he thinks we've become very adharmic, selfish. And Ramdas, and he doesn't want to know about us. And, some other things were said. But then Maharaj-ji said, none of you would have got here except for Ramdas, right? And we're like, whoa, that's heavy, And then he called Ramdas up and he said, Ramdas, you're angry. Ramdas, yeah. He said, well, I'm going to give you some warm milk. It'll make you feel better, but you have to drink it. So that's one of the lessons around. It's not just like waiting around for something to happen. The guru's going to help me, and it's an interactive thing, But anyhow, Ramdas, love everyone and tell the truth. And Ramdas said, the truth is, I don't love everyone. Ramdas, love everyone and tell the truth. So by the end of his life, which ended in 2019, those years, he truly loved everyone and told the truth to an extent that I never really saw in another human. Wow. Could actually do that, We are so, of course, judging everything and people and competing and blah, blah, blah. So he did get to that place. It was quite awesome to behold, really. So it works. Amal, it works. He proved it. It works.
I mean, that's what I'm just thinking, because and probably because of your experiences with Maharaj-ji and otherwise as well, I think, I would really like to ask this question, how do we get back to that place of love? And be there instead of, going out, working. I mean, obviously that's what we got to do. Go office, do work, do this, work, meet people, meet families, thousands of things happening around. But
yeah,
I mean, it may sound that it's love, but not necessarily it's love, but actual love, the love when we sit around, think about Maharaj-ji or probably do our practices, how can we, or people, who are kind of, I mean, they forget about I forget about Maharaj-ji when I'm doing my work, but I don't want that to happen. I know that's my problem, but how can I be always there?
No, it's no problem. The problem is you thinking it's a problem. The problem is you believe these thoughts. That's the problem. There's no other problem. You tell a story, this is who I am, and I'm skeptical, or I'm not, or whatever. And, I've done bad things and I'm good too, and so on. This is all duality. It's all play, right? Leela. Yeah. It really is. And there is a prescription, though, that's pretty good that we use to attend to all of this. And that is getting together with satsang, feeding people, chanting the name, and one of the other we do this. We organize satsangs all around, mostly around the West, but also in Australia, other places, England, so on, where we feed Ramdas really cultivated material very specifically on different themes and so on, that people are, how do I deal with relationships? I mean, we have it, Ram Dass dealt with everything in a way that's really special.
Yeah.
And so we feed that to people. And if they don't, helping people with just chanting, here's what to do, how to do that, get a Shruti box, Shri Ram Jai, and feeding people, everyone that comes in, this is an opportunity to feed people is the greatest. I mean, this is what Maharaj-ji did all day long at the ashram. He just fed people, and that kind of gathering, Siddhi Ma told, when someone asked the same question as you asked, how do we get close to Maharaj? I mean, said in many different ways. Get together, feed people, sing the Hanuman Chalisa, and that's it. So it sounds simplistic, but it is. We found it's totally true. These retreats, these other one-day things, whatever we have in person, or even online to some degree.
Yeah.
We do fellowships online, where people get together on Zoom and all that. The depth of that presence which connects all of us, which we call Maharaj-ji, but really is beyond the man in the blanket, the depth of that presence is so obvious when we get together, and people leave their egoistic identity at the door, because we don't want to live in that duality. We want to live in a place where we're not. There's no measure of you do something for me, and I'll do something for you.
No selfishness.
Yeah. So once you're in that place, it's luxuriating and staying. You feel safe and connected and so on. Yeah. But unconditional is unconditional. There's no asking from each other of anything. Yeah. It's just sharing. So that's the prescription.
Thank you so much for that. I think it feels like I'm talking to a friend of mine. I thought initially before starting this podcast, I was thinking or how will I talk to Raghu, or I mean, because I have been kind of looking up to you through videos, and now here you go, and you're talking as my friend would suggest me, and this sounds actually genuinely, I think I'm gonna kind of implement all this in my life, and obviously all the people who have been watching this, generally our channel's audience is too young. It's like 19 to 24 primary audience.
Wow.
But in a mix of both entertainment as well as spirituality. So here, this 35-year-old guy is, generally kind of, I'm trying to move my, audience. Hey guys, I've turned into a more spiritual person. No, Amal, don't do that. Kind of that, no. And then.
Oh yeah. No, but for me, when I was that age back then, I wasn't happy. I was really not happy. I didn't want to conform to everything that society wanted to put me into, the box. I didn't want to conform to what my family expected from me. I was unhappy. Something didn't feel right. So if something doesn't feel right, you pursue, wait a minute, what's real? What's the truth here? It can't be this. And that's what happened to me. Who did I first meet? Was Mayor Baba. Have you ever heard of Mayor Baba? No. Mayor Baba was a great saint in Maharashtra, and he used to feed sadhus that were no longer aware of their body. They were called mast.
Okay.
And he'd actually, they didn't care about their body so much. They weren't eating. You have to go feed them. Wow. This Mayor Baba did this. So it's also Ram Dass's first Upaguru, kind of, right? Okay. The first opening there was Mayor Baba. So. Yeah, no, people look for something that's going to, just the most simplistic thing, what's going to make me feel better, because this world is not. That doesn't mean you don't work. You apply all of it to each part of one's life, including family and work and so on. Maharaj-ji did not turn us into sadhus For
Yeah.
sure, he did not do that.
Yeah. But I think you guys are still emitting the same energy or the same thing, what probably a sadhu would do, because, I think, a lot of people have been getting inspired by with just listening to you guys talking about Maharaj-ji's Leelas, because you guys have been there, and that itself, it's kind of a surreal thing. I was staying at this just right opposite of Kanchi temple, Tiwari guest house. Uh,
Yeah, no, I'm close to those people, the people that own it.
oh wow.
They've been there forever. That house directly across the street is the man now in charge. His name is Girish.
Yeah.
That's been there forever. His great grandfather had it. Helped Maharaj-ji get that land and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I was talking to them, and there's a grand lady over there, and I spoke to her, and she was like, you know what? I know Rameshwar Das, I know Raghu, I know Krishna Das. We all used to be here together, and it was
Yeah.
Sumbari Baba. They spoke about Sumbari
Yeah.
Baba, Haida Khan
Oh,
Baba, um,
yeah.
all that. I was like, wow, this place. I mean, that I don't know. Do you generally think like that place or that area itself something? There's some energy shifts
No,
to.
it's called Deva Bhumi,
Mm.
right? Deva Bhumi. And K.K. Shaw, do you know who that
Yeah,
is?
yeah, yep.
Yeah. So we just did a film on him that he tells all those stories and so on. It's in the Inner Academy as well.
Okay.
But I'm just getting it in January. It should be available, through Amazon Prime, that kind of thing,
Wow.
Apple,
Wow.
YouTube. So we'll see. But uh, yeah, Deva Bhumi is that whole area. It's a sacred area from, Harikan Baba to Sombari Baba to Brahmacharya Baba to Neem Karoli Baba and before that, many, many great saints were established in that area. Yeah, no, that's the home for me. That's where I lived when we first, we lived all the way up in Kosani too.
Wow.
Yeah, and spent time there. Jageshwar, that whole area,
Yeah.
Almora. Yeah,
There's some charge to it. Like, Krishnadas was once saying that, that's one of those, and that's what I was noticing this time, that the river flows the north ways over there, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Opposite. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. And, when was the last time that you stayed in Kanchi? I mean, do we have time right now, or like?
Well, yeah, I have to. I have just 5 minutes, and I have
Okay,
to go.
okay. So I think, like, before we just close this up, and seems like, I just want to talk to you all the time. It's 3 o'clock right now in India, but I've like, I have all the time, I can talk to you. Before we close it up, and I think, if whenever you're free next time, probably, we can do it second episode probably once the first is released, whenever you're free, probably. So probably we can do that.
Sure.
Uh, what do you like as a final closing words? Like, what do you want to like? Because I can see there's a lot happening around Neem Karoli Baba. Like, I mean, no one needs a validation anymore, because there's so many examples, like Steve Jobs, you, Krishnadas, Ramdas,
No,
Zuckerberg.
Steve Jobs. No,
Ah, okay.
he went there, and he did love Maharaj, and he had to be here now by his bedside rather.
Yeah.
He got there too late, so he wasn't there then.
People who got like really close to Maharaj-ji, as in sense of even the feeling point. Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay,
Yeah.
now I get you. Yeah.
Now, so many people have felt something, some or the other, and I'm like just wondering, like, no one needs more validation than this. So, what do you want to talk about, or probably say to the people, who are still kind of in a way that, they don't kind of believe that these things generally exist, like, because there are a lot of people who works on practicality. Hey, this does not exist. Oh,
Yes, science and
yeah, yeah, and all that, but I mean, no one can like, these are the living examples, like, and so what do you want to talk to about those people?
No, come on. There is a reality that everyone has a certain pace at which they go to become conscious
Yeah.
beings in this world. Even forget about spirituality. How about just ethics? Just proper ethics, how you would treat somebody else like you'd want to be treated.
Yeah.
Just those kinds of things. So there's a certain pace at which people go. A soul evolves, shall we say.
Yeah.
And so there's no going out and going, well, this is what we used to believe when we were hippies back in the 60s, taking acid, psychedelics. Oh, wow, this is so incredible. It just revealed the truth in the world. Let's put it in the water supply. That'll get them straightened out, right? All these people that are so materially oriented. That's just juvenile, naive, kind of thing. I think, you have to do what's right for you. What's the premise? The premise is that you want to be kinder, you want to be more compassionate, you want to do the right thing by whatever, through family, through work, through friends, whatever.
Yeah.
You're committed there. And once you're committed there, you start to do practice. Okay, you're doing that you're starting with, which is a great start, which is the Hanuman Chalisa. This is Maharaj-ji said every word of the Hanuman Chalisa is Maha Mantra. So, that's a good start.
Yeah.
But you probably got to tame your mind a little bit through meditation. Doing some pranayama is probably effective. Starting a little satsa. Hey, why don't we get together? We could just even read from a book, together and have food. Oh, maybe somebody might know, especially in India, somebody knows how to sing Sri Ram, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we start doing that? So those are the things that you can do. But thinking about, what about all these people that are so not in touch with their spiritual selves, shall we say? Not our business. Our business is straighten ourselves. This is Ram Dass said this many, many times. Straighten out your own heart, and then you can radiate that to people, everybody around you.
Wow.
Make yourself, and this is what he said, this is a great quote, make yourself an environment in which people can become free.
Wow. Wow.
So this is the work, individually that we need to do, and then collectively. So,
Yeah. Sure. Thank you so much for that. And I think all these learnings and all the work that you're already doing right now, with even with LSR in India, coming, that's also something that I'm really looking forward for.
yeah, I'll have to hook you up, Amal, with them at some point.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm all here. I'm a Delhiite from South India, lives in Delhi. So
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Kerala.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
but I was raised in North India, so primarily
Oh,
in.
you were. Where's your family now, may I
My
ask?
family lives in Lucknow. My dad and mom are in
Okay.
Lucknow. I live in
Ah.
Delhi, but I'm in Punjab right now, but originally from Kerala.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
great. So great.
So,
Well, appreciate being here and hanging out with you.
thank you so much.
We'll continue the conversation
Absolutely. And next
someday.
time you're in India, you're invited to our home for a wholesome dinner.
Okay. Will
And
do.
yeah, whenever you're next free, we'll connect with you in another. Once this is getting released, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah,
And
let me know so, we can share it with people.
yeah,
And it's all the platforms, the Apple,
uh,
YouTube,
we are primarily
Spotify.
Spotify. We are not yet there because our audience. This is first episode of second season, so now we will have to be there because the genre is changing with the second season. The first one was entire entertainment, Bollywood kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I was like, no, let's not go to Spotify. But yeah, with this one, this will go to Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. So obviously, we'll be, working out for 5, 10 days, regularly. This will keep getting posted.
Hmm.
And yeah, that'll be there. So
Oh, But you got to send me. I want to hear a Bollywood podcast.
Sure, I'm gonna send that to you.
Okay, great.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Raghu. Final words,
So
anything that you
lovely.
final words you want to close it down to? Any final words for the people?
No, just one. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much, Raghu. Pleasure talking to you. Thank
Yeah,
you so
keep in
much.
touch. Keep in
Absolutely.
touch,
I'll keep you
Amal.
posted. Yeah. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Bye.